Hi, let's solve this question. In order to control a surge in bank lending and to prevent inflation, so something is being done with the intent to control a surge in bank lending and to prevent inflation. Let's read ahead. The central bank of country X plans to increase interest rates. All right. So the plan is to increase the interest rates. All right. Let's read ahead. However, so there's a contrast coming. Economists warn that higher interest rates will widen the country's politically sensitive trade surplus. So we have a warning from the economists that this higher interest rate will widen the trade surplus. Now, what is the trade surplus? I do not know what trade surplus is. However, if the question expects me to understand what the trade surplus is, it will provide me enough context. I just know that it is politically sensitive. So let's get back to the passage. Okay. As its exports continue to increase at a faster rate than its imports. So the economists link the increase in exports with They link the increase in exports compared to imports with the widening of the trade surplus. So most likely, the trade surplus is something which is related to the difference between the exports and imports. If let's say exports are higher and imports are not that high, then the difference between these two entities is probably related to the trade surplus. Let's read ahead. This is because higher interest rates tend to reduce businesses' investment spending. So we have a reason now. The reason is that the reason why higher interest rates can lead to the widening of trade surplus. So one reason has been given to be reduced investment spending. And there is another reason. So these two reasons have been given to make us believe that increase in interest rates can lead to the widening of trade surplus. The question asks us that which of the following, if true, most logically completes the argument. So we need to find R2 such that R2, the second reason combined with the first reason about reduced investment spending, can make us understand or make us believe how the increased interest rates can widen the trade surplus. Now, before moving ahead, let's just consider the information that is available to us. Trade surplus is related to the gap between exports and imports. So, when will the trade surplus widen? One scenario can be when the exports increase significantly, and the other scenario will be in which the imports do not increase as much as they could have otherwise. Both these scenarios will widen this gap and trade surplus will increase. So what can be the scenarios? What can be the possibility for R2 such that this new reason combined with the first reason related to reduced investment spending can make us believe that increased interest rates will widen the trade surplus. So one scenario can be that the reduced investment spending significantly increases the exports. In this case, the trade surplus may widen. The second scenario can be in which the reduced investment spending negatively impacts the imports. In this scenario also, there are chances that trade surplus will increase. So with this understanding, let's move to answer choice analysis. Choice A. Lower interest rates have encouraged businesses in country X to borrow money from banks in order to invest. So choice A talks about the impact of lower interest rates, what the lower interest rates have done. However, is the passage about lower interest rates? No. The passage and the conclusion is about higher interest rates. So the impact of lower interest rates is irrelevant and therefore this choice is incorrect. Choice B, one of the very popular incorrect answer choices. Let's read it. Country X's businesses cannot continue to export goods at the current high rate without significant investment spending. So choice B links this reduced investment spending with reduction in exports. Now, isn't this opposite of what we need? The correct answer choice should convey that this reduced investment spending can significantly increase the exports. This choice is doing just the opposite. It is conveying that reduced investment spending can reduce the exports. So this choice is also incorrect. And here you can see how a good understanding of the passage and just simplifying this answer choice to understand what it means can help us easily and confidently reject the incorrect answer choices. Let's move to the next choice. Another very popular incorrect answer choice, choice C, and let's see how reading and understanding the passage well can help us easily eliminate this answer choice. Inflationary price increases generally cause consumers to limit their purchases. So this choice tells us the impact of inflationary price increases. However, our passage tells us that these interest rates are being increased to prevent inflation, right? So the scenario in which inflationary price increases exist is not relevant. It is actually not the scenario that is being discussed in the passage. So this scenario itself is irrelevant. Another way to discard this choice is inflationary price increases generally cause consumers to limit their purchases. What does that mean? It means that because of inflationary price increases, if let's say the consumers were purchasing goods worth $100, they are now purchasing goods worth $80. So it does not in any way relate to the increase in exports or imports or the trade surplus. So the factors discussed in this choice, all factors are irrelevant, and therefore this choice is also incorrect. And see how now you can see how the passage understanding helps you evaluate the answer choices very easily. Choice D. Many businesses in country X have in recent years concentrated their investment spending on imported industrial equipment. So what this choice tells us that a reduction in investment spending can actually reduce imports or have a negative impact on imports. And this choice is in line with this pre-thought answer. And this is the correct answer choice. Coming to choice E, the trade surplus has increased due to new firms borrowing money in order to enter the export business. So choice E presents the reason behind the increase in trade surplus. Now, is this reason relevant? No. The reason is not relevant, and therefore choice E is also incorrect. So this question is a very good example to understand why understanding the passage completely is so important. You have to visualize the information that is given to you. You have to understand every factor that is given to you. Which factor is relevant, which factor is not relevant. All that should be very clear in your mind before you move to the answer choice analysis. The second step is to analyze answer choices very carefully. You can simplify the answer choices and understand what those answer choices are actually talking about. As we saw here in the most popular incorrect answer choices B and C, the factors that are being discussed or the scenarios that are being discussed are actually not relevant to the conclusion. So if you have a good understanding of the passage and you understand the answer choices, it becomes very easy for you to reject those kinds of choices and mark the correct answer choice with confidence. Hope this was helpful. Happy learning.